What's up, guys? This is going to be a full iPhone 5 review that Apple just released to the world on Friday, September 21st. So let's go ahead and jump into this with the design. So as you can tell, the design is pretty much identical to the iPhone 4S, but it is just a little bit longer, and the iPhone 5 is much thinner and much lighter. It only weighs 3.9 ounces compared to the iPhone 4S's 4.9 ounces, and it is 18% thinner than the iPhone 4S. So that gives you a good idea of just how thin and light this iPhone is. So Apple also packed in a 16:9 aspect ratio on this 4-inch display. The old iPhone was 3.5 inches, so this is a really nice display. They didn't stretch it at all, but by making the screen a little bit taller, the aspect ratio is now 16:9, and I think it's the perfect screen size. The reason Apple didn't widen this screen at all is because when you're holding this thing one-handed, you want to be able to reach into all corners of the screen with your thumb, and as you can tell in this, I can reach almost all the way to the top right corner of it, so it fits perfectly. So on the bottom of the device, you can tell there's a new speaker grill, and the headphone jack has also moved to the bottom, but there is a new Lightning port connector, and Apple calls this Lightning for some reason, but it is still USB 2.0, and you can tell a pretty big difference from the old connector to the new one. It's very, very small. Here's what the volume buttons look like on the iPhone 5. You can tell that the antenna is now white on the white version of the iPhone 5. On the top of the iPhone 5, you will find the sleep and wake button. The headphone jack has been moved to the bottom of the iPhone. On the white model of the iPhone 5, you will find a white and silver two-tone backing. On the black iPhone 5, you will find black and slate. You can tell that there is the same 8-megapixel camera, a noise-canceling microphone, and an LED flash indicator on the back of the iPhone 5 in the top left-hand corner. On the right side of the iPhone 5, you will find the nano SIM insert, so you can take this out and remove it if you need to. Apple really stepped up their game in the phone part of this iPhone. There are now 3 microphones on the iPhone, one in the earpiece, one on the bottom, and one on the back of the phone for noise cancellation and really high quality audio. The iPhone 5 doesn't have a bigger megapixel camera. It is still 8 megapixels, but Apple did add a sapphire lens to this thing instead of a glass lens. It's much more scratch resistant, and they also improved the optics on the iPhone. So let's go ahead and take a look at some pictures on the iPhone. So coming from an iPhone 4, this camera absolutely blew it out of the water. The quality is really amazing, and all the lights and the colors look fantastic. If it came from an iPhone 4S, this might not look too impressive to you, since it still does use the 8 megapixels. And here's a nice panoramic shot that it took with the iPhone 5. It looks really cool. The iPhone 5 has a new A6 processor, and it is a dual-core processor with 1 gigahertz of processing power, and it also has 1 gigabyte of RAM, so this thing is very fast. You can pretty much do anything as fast as possible, and this will keep up with you. The iPhone 5 comes with iOS 6, which is Apple's new software. There are some user interface tweaks in here, but nothing really too drastic, but the biggest thing is the new Maps application. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. So this is the new Maps application that is developed and designed by Apple themselves. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding this because they did get rid of Google Maps on it, and there's lots of things that are inaccurate about it. There's lots of old listings, and we've been told that the data from this is years old, and lots of things are not there, like new roads and new buildings. But their new flagship feature of this application is Flyover, and that allows you to see things in 3D renderings. You can basically fly over a city or a place that has this enabled, and you can just pan around and zoom and check it out. It's a really cool feature when it works, but there's lots of stuff that looks like an apocalyptic world because the 3D renderings didn't come out right. But for now, it's pretty good, and this is a work in progress, and I'm sure they will be updating this as the years go on. So how is gaming on the iPhone 5? Well, as it turns out, it is really good because the iPhone 5 does have an A6 processor, which has triple core graphics on the GPU side of things, so games look absolutely fantastic if they are designed for the display, because they did stretch out the display to a 16:9 aspect ratio. But what does a game look like without that updated application? Well, this is the Field Runners 2. This has not been updated yet. This is what it looks like. Siri has also been updated for iOS 6, and it runs really well on the iPhone 5. It seems like it's a little bit faster now. I'm not sure if Apple has upgraded their servers or something, but you can now search for sports, you can set reservations for restaurants, and you can also ask Siri to find you good movies that are playing near your location. So overall, Siri has just been slightly improved, but it's still the same old Siri. Another new flagship feature of iOS 6 is Passbook, but it seems like it's not working, and this is a stable version of iOS 6, which is just ridiculous that it's not even working yet. You try and open up the App Store, and it still does not work. I have no idea what Apple is thinking releasing this when it's not even ready. The new iPhone 5 now has dual band antenna Wi-Fi, so you can get your 2.4 and your 5 GHz bands on your iPhone 5 for blazing fast Wi-Fi download speeds. Apple has also put LTE into the device that helps load data much faster than 3G, and here are some of the speeds that I was getting on Verizon's network. Very impressive, much faster than my home internet. So even while packing in all of this new stuff in the iPhone 5 and making it thinner and lighter, Apple has said that the battery life is much better, and it is actually 225 hours now standby time. That is up from 200 hours on the 4S, and I was about getting a full day's usage of heavy usage out of this thing, so that's pretty impressive with all this new stuff. So which carriers can you get this iPhone 5 on, and how much will it cost? Well, if you live in the United States, this iPhone 5 will cost you $199, $299, or $399, depending on if you buy the 16, 32, or 64 gigabyte model. And this comes on Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T, and those prices are on contract only. So if you want to buy this thing unlocked, they're going to cost a lot more than that. And they also come with the new Apple EarPods, which is Apple's really good headphones. They said they spent 3 years making these, so those are included with the iPhone 5. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this review of the Apple iPhone 5. I hope you enjoyed. I tried to cover everything in this video. If you have any questions about the phone, be sure to leave it in the comments section below. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.